What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Season Gaming Bitcast. It is Saturday, October 10th, and this is Bitcast 126, and we're coming at you today with a duo show. Just me and the Dusty Hole, apparently.
That's right, baby. Dusty Hole in the house. The dustiest of the holes right here. Man, immediately, like out of the gate, we barely even started, and Hassan is already getting his fingers warmed up.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
Oh, he's ready to go.
He's ready. You know, The funny thing is, he said, but no, it's not Anthem. At least we're not talking
Anthem.
It's almost Anthem. That's like probably more appropriate of what Anthem was like than Anthem.
This is true. This is true.
So sorry about that. I almost had a crisis for a second. We started, and the intro music started blasting through my speakers instead of the headset. So I panicked, but luckily it was just the quick little flip setting on my PC. So, what's going on, everyone? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So this week we and Hassan, thank you very much for the.
I love
you guys with these super chats, man. So Hassan, thanks as always, man. Really appreciate it. Pampa had to come in right afterwards, and he's already throwing up the Anthem $5 Subway super chat. So $5 footlong Subway Anthem sponsored super chat. Well, we're off to a great start, aren't we? This is just great for the audio listener. So yeah. Anyway, we talked to some guests this week. We're still working out schedules. We've got guests lined up for next week, but we figured this week, there's a lot of news, a lot of things to talk about on PlayStation 5 in particular. We've got Baldur's Gate 3. We've got Xbox FanFest Digital, Cyberpunk's gone gold. There's a whole bunch of things to touch on. So Dan and I are going to tackle this together. Always like going back to the duo show. It's just fun. And of course we can talk more with our community. So thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit. So, biggest thing this week, PlayStation 5. So we got the official teardown finally. In traditional kind of Sony / PlayStation fashion, it was very, very formal. It was a planned white room, single guy who barely said anything with a set of tools, taking this thing apart piece by piece for 7 minutes. And what we saw really, there's not a whole lot to learn here that we didn't already know, but, a couple things we do know, right, is as expected, we talked previously about the Xbox Series X having the kind of modular, square design. And what we said about the PS5 being so tall and kind of narrow was that they obviously are using a traditional motherboard, right? Because, even in your PCs, it's tall and narrow. And sure enough, that's what we see here with the PS5 motherboard, right? The interesting thing here about the SoC or the chip is that because it's overclocked, it's running really hot. And so they're actually using liquid metal cooling underneath of it, which they said they've tested for a very long time now because liquid metal can be a little finicky after time. But, obviously, I'm sure all their engineers consider that and have been testing it for a very long time. So they're using liquid metal under the SoC, and then they also are using a massive heat pipe designed heatsink, which when he took this thing out, I was like, Jesus, man, that is a huge, huge part of the actual console itself. It looks like to be about half the size of the damn box.
It's gigantic, man. I've never, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge tech guy. So it's like when I saw that, I've seen heat sinks before. I've never seen anything like that ever. No. Fantastic, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but we'll see. It's humongous.
Yeah, so I find it weird, and I'm not an engineer by any means, and I'm not going to be one of those guys that questions what these guys do. All of these teams that build these things are freaking brilliant. They work on this stuff for years. So the people on Twitter, questioning, well, why'd they do this? Or that looks stupid, or that's a bad design. Just stop it. Okay. If you knew what you were talking about, you'd be one of these engineers. But
are those pipes in the middle? What the hell?
Yeah, it's a heat pipe. Yeah, it's a heat pipe design.
Lord.
And that's the weird thing about it is that heat pipes, from what I've read, again, not going on any expert knowledge here, what I've read are about 30% less efficient for cooling than vapor chambers. Mm-hmm. And the Xbox Series X is using that square vapor chamber. Mm-hmm. What Sony said is, yes, it's using heat pipes, but because of the size and the design, it's as efficient and cools as efficiently as a vapor chamber. So I don't know if they had to do that because of the angles, or who knows. But long story short, between all the different cooling solutions they have in there, the vents, the fans, everything else, hopefully the PS5 is not only going to stay cool, but be quiet as well, which apparently they insulated certain areas of the interior of the console, and they even insulated the disk drive for the disk version so that you don't even hear the disk spinning, which is nice.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I have no idea. I look at the inside of that stuff. I saw dust holes, obviously. I saw the fans, and that's about the limit of my knowledge on anything tech-wise. The liquid cooling stuff, like I looked that stuff up, and it sounds super finicky, mostly during the application process. You can't get it on anything else, because it'll cause the motherboard to short circuit. This is all stuff that I've read that I don't actually know. So between that and thermal paste, I assume that's the other thing that that's the more widely used,
yes,
thing.
Much more widely used.
Yeah. So this is my only worry with it is that it's been around for what, 2-3 years now.
Few years,
yeah. And
from what I read, I'm no expert on this stuff.
Yeah, me neither. So it's as long as it's good in the long run, that's my biggest concern, I guess. I don't know how that stuff does it dry out? Does it, do you have to reapply it? Like, I know with thermal paste, people have to reapply stuff, and
especially on the 1X, it had an issue with that.
Right.
Yeah.
God, man, I have no clue. I mean, it looks insane, but for the most part, as long as it plays my games.
Yep. And so Pampa, I appreciate the $5 super chat, man. For whatever reason, our integrated software here is not letting me put it on the screen. It's not showing up as one I can pull up. But thank you very much for the subway. Yeah, I've been looking for it. It's not there. So Walter has a good point here. Considering the size of the PS5, the pipes make sense because you can connect it directly to your chimney to get that heat dissipation.
Okay. I'm going to yield to Walter because I have no idea.
But yeah, it's if nothing else on the teardown, it was definitely interesting. I think when you compare, we talked about the comparison to the Xbox Series X, and you can see we've talked before about that split motherboard and how it allows it to be much more compact, right? And you can see that in the pictures. If you look at that and the 2-layered motherboard, how they connected it versus this large flat space, that's just the difference right there in the shape of the console.
No, yeah, for sure.
That's it. Now, again, this is an actual engineer, not trying to stoke any flames. It doesn't matter at the end of the day on both systems. One thing I just saw in one of our comments here, where is it? Sorry, SSSTTTT. Okay, couldn't choose the username. That's fine. But yeah, Microsoft did a hell of a job on the Series X design, and I, like I said, not trying to compare the two. I'm sure there's a million engineering reasons why the two are the way they are. But I did see Albert Pinello. Did you see his comment on this?
No, I did not.
Okay, so Albert Pinello, if you're not familiar with who he is the engineer at Xbox who was there for, 20 years, and he's at Amazon now. He's helping to build Luna. But he said this. He said, usually something's more powerful, smaller, and quieter. It's called better engineered. So he said Xbox One X was the same way. Why are people surprised? And he's not one to really kind of stoke. He never talks crap, essentially, I guess that would be. So like I said, it doesn't really matter, but it is interesting, if nothing else, that, just based on the differences in design decisions, that the Xbox Series X is substantially smaller than the PS5, as big as it is. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Again, as long as they both don't break,
yeah,
they both aren't super loud, I'm happy.
I'll get your extended warranties for sure. I mean, that is 100%. Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that. I hadn't done that yet.
Oh, yeah. I got one for PS5, one for the XX or SXX, the Series X. God, I still hate the word, but you got to have them, man. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I've had, 2 of these Elite controllers go out that were supposed to be super highly tested and run through whatever thing they it just happens. Shit happens. So you never know, what's going to happen to these things. The PS5 could explode when you take it out of the box. You never know. That's what's going to happen. So,
if it doesn't flatten you first.
Right. Yeah. If you can get it out of the box,
you can lift it.
Yes.
Deadlift.
You'll be good. So, warranty. It's worth it. $40.
I don't have a picture here handy. I'm surprised you haven't taken yours apart yet, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not as easy as that guy made it look.
He's experienced.
He's much stronger than I am, even though he's much smaller than I am.
I did find it funny. The engineer, he was the principal engineer or senior, I forget. But when he was sitting there, he looked like a pretty small guy, right? And the console sitting next to him looked like as big as his torso. It was just quite funny.
He was huge.
Yeah. But we did see the expansion slot for the additional internal drive that you can put in, which is nice. And it's, you take off that cover plate and then it's the next thing right there that you can unscrew. You can get to it pretty quickly. So I'm looking forward to, as drive prices come down, putting in another terabyte or two in the PS5, closing it up, and then never having to worry about it again. Which is cool.
That'll be nice. And they finally came out with some NVMEs that will work with it, which are $240
for every terabyte.
Yeah, I think I saw it for $220 somewhere.
Okay,
it's basically the same price.
Yeah,
same thing. So,
well, I saw they have a 2 terabyte one for $550.
Yeah,
so I mean, if you're feeling generous,
if you really want to go, I mean, with those, they're going to go down in price, 100%. Yeah. And we got news this week that was it Jason Ronald, the guy I didn't know till last week. He said that third party will be working potentially on these, the Series SX memory
both of them, the expansion card. Yeah,
the expansion card. Yeah, so that'll be nice. Hoping Mad Cats comes out of retirement. Bring it on.
It'll work for a week.
Yeah. Yep.
What was there was one other thing I was going to mention on the teardown, and now I can't remember. Oh, the plates themselves. So I don't know what the official word is. I'm calling them fins or whatever. They definitely looked very, they're obviously plastic, but when you see him lift, it actually bends. So it's obvious they're really kind of light and not flimsy. That's not a good word, but you know what I mean, right? They're easy to move on and off. They reminded me a lot of the Xbox 360 faceplate, where I can almost guarantee we're going to see customized ones, right? Not just third party, like people themselves painting them and doing stuff. We'll see that for sure. But I would imagine Sony is going to sell licensed game related fins as new releases come out.
You think so? I think they won't.
Really?
I think what they'll do, well, how are you going to sell special edition systems then? You know what I mean?
Why would you need to?
Why? Because they like money.
No, but that's what I mean. The fins, like a custom 2 plastic fins, you could probably make those for less than $5 and sell them for 50 plus.
That's what
the profit margin is going to be bigger than a console.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, but I can just see them being, Sony.
Well, that's what I mean. If the profit margin, say you Demon Souls is a bad example launch, but you say Demon Souls is launching, you can get Demon Souls Digital Deluxe Edition, Collector's Edition, and by the way, for your PS5, buy these $50, $70, even $80 fins, because Sony, they cost $5 to make. They got a $75 profit.
That's true. I never thought about it that way. Yep, that's what they'll do. I'm gonna have like 10 different sets of these things. I swear.
Well, that's what I mean. And every time a big release, like figure God of War Ragnarok comes out, they release them with the big Ragnarok symbol on one side and like the axe on the other. They sell like hotcakes.
Man, now I'm getting excited.
Yeah, now I wonder, Miles Morales on one side and Peter Parker on the other.
I wonder if like they'll license it to third party, people where they can just sell the fins like as they come, like just
marketing deals. So if they have like Call of Duty, they have the marketing deal for you. They could start to say that includes design on custom panels.
Oh man, Walter, yeah, seasoned gaming fins. That's what I'm talking about. That would be badass. Now
that's pretty cool, actually. What I'll have to do is get a big season gaming sticker, like the skull or one of these, and just a transparent sticker, and then you can put it on the side, and you won't even know it's a sticker. You know what I mean?
No, we just gotta get Diego to design some.
Yeah, Diego, get on it. Let's go.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep, get on it.
Yeah, they'll just sell decals. That's pretty much how their custom consoles are. That's pretty true. They've been pretty crap with custom consoles, to be fair.
It's crazy to me that you see all these fan-made things and they're so good looking, like that Spider-Man one that came out.
Yep.
Or, it's just, just even the black fins looked awesome. Yeah. So I mean, it's just, and then they come out with a Leaf, get out of here with that garbage.
The Leaf was bad. Yeah. Carl, I'll just leave him off and go full Mad Max. You just see the metal fans on the side. Yeah,
he doesn't care.
But I certainly think, especially if they actually put some effort into them and see some qualities. Like I would buy Demon Souls ones at launch without even a second thought.
Yeah,
put some cool designs on both sides. Let's get it going, man. Come on.
But you can do some like really cool like embossed stuff, and
that's what I mean. Yeah, like put some effort into it, some quality stuff, not stickers.
Yeah,
Season Gaming, we're gonna stick to stickers.
Yeah,
but
okay with that.
All right. The other big news for PlayStation 5, of course, was backwards compatibility. A lot of talk about that, even up through yesterday. And so what we've learned is this. It's good news, but also confusing news. The good news is that they have confirmed that the vast majority, nearly all, PS4 games will work on PS5. That's the good news. That's about as simple as it gets, because from there start to be some slightly weird things. So I actually put up an article yesterday which tried to walk through this as best as possible. So we'll talk through it real quick, and you can kind of keep me honest, and we can kind of talk through this with the audience. So the games themselves, obviously, if you have a disc, you put the disc in and play the game. Fine. Digital, you have 3 ways to do this. You can store it on an external hard drive, as we know, plug it in via USB and play it off the hard drive. You can transfer to the PS5 over Wi-Fi and your internal house network, which is something they do already. PS4 and Xbox both, you can do that today. So that's good. Or it says they added this yesterday. Once you're logged into your PS5, you can find the game in your own library and re-download it from a digital perspective. So that's good.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't you be able to do that? That's
data. Oh, true. Yeah. But I think that at least they have other options for people with data caps, right?
Right.
Now, all that's fine. Additionally, like playing the games, where am I looking here? Ps4 Game Performance. So they also reaffirmed yesterday this thing called Game Boost, which very similar to what we're seeing on these Digital Foundry and stuff videos with Xbox Series X, right? This is really about allowing the PS5 hardware power to enhance the previous generation games, right? So if you had unlocked frame rates, it's going to boost that frame rate up. They didn't touch as much on resolution, but they have alluded to the fact that, there'll be resolution and quality improvements as well. Pretty much similar to what you could expect, as we saw, excuse me. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting now. They had a lot of caveats in this post they had. So the first was that some PS4 games may experience errors or unexpected behavior when attempting to play them on the PS5, and some features may also not work as intended. I have no idea what they're referring to there. I guess we're going to find out.
I would say it's probably either stuff that works with like the touchpad, if it's like which would suck for a lot of games like Horizon Zero Dawn. But I mean, or maybe like something to do with the camera. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, we know we'll get to that.
Yeah.
The camera. They actually recommend to play your PS4 games on the PS5 first for a while before purchasing any DLC or in-game items to ensure it works properly. So that's a weird statement to throw out there too.
But what you probably would have played most of that stuff already. It's a really small amount of people that would affect, I would think.
I think so, yeah. And also, right, the first party studios, the ones that make all the big exclusives that people love to play. So you're talking your God of War, your Horizon, your Naughty Dog games, right? Ghost. All of those have already come out and basically said, we're enhancing this. It's going to be playable PS5, 60 FPS on Ghost of Tsushima, things like that, right? So I think from a first party perspective, you won't have to worry about any issues.
No.
This may be those, just obscure third party games that may run into stuff. Then if you're playing a PS4 game on the PS5 and it's one that's received a PS5 enhancement, it's not automatically just going to do that for you. It's not, I hate to use the term, but it's not smart delivery, right? It's not just going to install that for you. You have to either go to the game hub for that game or you have to go to the PSN store, find the game, and look to see if it has an enhancement, and then download it. So you have to be aware of that. It's not just going to do it for you. Now, game saves. This is also where it gets kind of interesting because there's still open questions on this because of the way they worded it. So they said, according to their post, you can say you can transfer game save data the same way you transfer games themselves. That is either by Wi-Fi transfer or via an external drive. So the way they worded it is that even if you're physical or digital and you're playing a game on PS5, you need to make sure that you have that game save on that drive or USB or somewhere ported over to the PS5.
Right.
So they came out yesterday. So the big question, one of the big questions we had is it possible to get your save on the PS5 and then upload it to the cloud? Remember, you asked this. That way you don't have to worry about it in the future.
Yeah, I think they confirmed that, didn't they?
They did. They said if you're a PS Plus member, not everyone, if you're a PS Plus member, your PS4 saves can sync to cloud storage on the PS5. That's pretty much all they said.
Huh. All right. Well, I mean, that's isn't that how it works now, though? I mean, I've never not had PS Plus, but it always, when you go to look at like your cloud saves and everything, it always shows that little plus sign.
Yes.
So that's kind of the thing.
The only open question still, because of the way they worded it, right? It says, this is literally the quote. And if you are a PS Plus member, you can also sync PS4 game saves on PS5 through cloud storage, right? Okay. Makes sense in theory. But what that doesn't say is if you just log into your PS5, have your game, can you download your current PS4 save? I don't think so, based on the way they worded this. I think what they're saying is you have to get the save to the PS5, and then you can sync it.
Yeah, that's super weird.
And I think it goes back to what the conversation we were having last week and what Carl and I have talked about a lot in chat offline is it feels like Sony is creating a new future-based instance of PSN, and this is part of that transition for people's profiles.
I mean, at what point, though, I mean, do you not just make everything work through generations? You know what I mean? Like with Xbox, it's always going to be the same thing. Like I'm guessing when I boot up a 360 game on my Series X, it's going to sync with whatever cloud save I've had back in the day or whatever, assuming
but they've been set up for that for many years now.
Right.
PSN hasn't.
Right. Okay. But here's my question to that. Are they going to, is this, they're trying to future proof what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So how long does that go to? Does that go to the end of the generation? Because they could have done that, back in the day. They just chose not to. I mean, I don't know anything about the internals and how everything works with the PS3. Like, is it when you say back end?
Yep.
On this stuff, is there a stopping point? It's like, okay, well, we're working towards the future of the PSN on PS5.
Yes.
Once we get to PS6, we're gonna have to do this whole thing again.
I get what you're asking. Okay. So if it's the way that I'm thinking of it, I think it's Carl's thinking of it because, we've talked about this offline, right? It would be from this moment forward, you won't have to worry about this anymore.
Okay. So they're basically starting what Xbox started 20 years ago.
Yes. And they're laying that foundation for the future so that they don't have to worry about this again. Cool. But I think I said it last week, right? Is like short-term pain, long-term gain. Is that this will be better for everyone, PlayStation community entirely in the future. But some of that pain is what we're seeing with all this confusion right now, is because they don't have. There's no. The foundation they're on today is not the foundation they're going to be on in the future, and there's issues with pulling that over. If you also saw the announcement this week that they're shutting down a lot of the older stuff, right? Did you see that? The store on Vita, PS3, like you can see them starting to jettison anything pre-PS4. And just that's kind of like the old stuff now. We'll do what we can because PS4, as we've talked about, is so popular, such a big success thing for PlayStation you have to do everything you can to bring that stuff forward, which is what it looks like they're doing. But everything else is just, it's not worth it. Move on. We're starting fresh on this new PSN instance.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I never had a PS3, and digital really wasn't a thing back, back in the PS2 days. So that's fine. Most of my stuff, as long as it carries over, I've got a lot invested into the Xbox ecosystem, just from an economic standpoint, from me buying too much shit, and then also the PS4. So as long as that stuff's going to come over in one way or another, that's fine.
Yeah,
I have to get another external hard drive to make sure everything's on there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think I have my old PS4 hard drive. I should be able to reformat that some bitch. And
an external one you used?
Yeah, well, it was the internal drive for the Pro. It's just a regular hard drive, so I think I can reformat that and then just make that an extended hard drive. I should.
Yeah, put it in a case with a USB. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I have a terabyte sitting right here. It's not an SSD, but a standard that I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah, I used to use it on my Xbox a few years ago before I got the SSD. I haven't used it for anything. I'm just gonna reformat it, put all the stuff I need from my PS4, move it to PS5. Get past all this stuff, right? And then the nice thing, like we're saying, just like Matt said here, it'll take a long time to make this kind of transition, but once you do it, in the long run, you're set. So
yeah, I'm good with it, man. Me too. And once I get them over there, I can just cloud save it, and whatever I decide I want to play,
correct,
it'll be there, and I don't have to worry about it.
It's gonna feel like Xbox. You'll just log on, sign in, and you'll be there. Right. Which is where it should have been on the PS4 gen. To me, as someone, I always say, kind of in that realm, right? It's disappointing that they didn't move there sooner. And I don't know what. There's probably a million reasons why that is, but it's nice to see him doing it now. And to Carl's point, one of the things I find most interesting is that where does Azure play into this? Because as we know, was it early this year, late last, that corporate Sony signed the deal with Microsoft to start using Azure for some of their, cloud infrastructure. It would be really kind of funny if you think about it, that if they were building this new PSN for the future of PlayStation, if some of that back end was built on Azure.
Actually, it's going to be built on the when they take out the Series X or the Xbox One X, I'm sorry, from the servers, when they put it in the Series X, that's what Sony gets. They'll be running
the old xCloud blades.
Yeah, it's like, you guys can have this stuff. We're gonna keep this. Yeah, they'll get the old blades.
The xCloud B system.
Yeah. This is actually, stuff runs off of Windows 95. So.
Oh my God. The only other stuff to be aware of, if you're listening to this, is you mentioned the camera. So the new HD camera, the PS5 one, it doesn't work with PSVR. You have to use your PS4 camera. Again, annoying. The DualSense controller, PlayStation 4 DualShock had the share button. Well, that's changing to a create button, which I'm presuming has some new software for creating clips and other things, right? There's some compatibility stuff. You can find it on our post on our site about that. It's different from the share button. So if you're playing a PS4 game on your PS5, it's different. Apparently, this is a weird one too, is that PS5 automatically enables HDR from the outset. Like when you turn on your PS5, HDR is on. So a bunch of PS4 games obviously don't support HDR. So you'll have to turn that off. That's like a awareness thing. Turn it off.
Wow. So that's not at a hardware level?
It's an option in the menu you can change, but it's just defaulted on. Like on the PS4, you had to go into the menu and turn HDR capability on. On PS5, it's just defaulted on. So you have to go turn it off if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, but games couldn't just run with that on.
It's saying, well, the problem is if you don't have an HDR TV, right, and you turn your PS5 on, I don't know how that works. It'll have to format it somehow.
Right. I don't know. I have no idea about that stuff. Like with the Xbox, it automatically detects it and then turns it on. So, but I can still go out back and play games that weren't made with HDR. It's not an issue.
Yeah. This is literally copy pasted from their site, dude. I don't know what it just
dumb.
And then further alluding to this new PSN instance that I think is happening in the background, a lot of these old kind of features from PS4 and PSN that really aren't heavily used are not being supported on PS5. So it says PS4 tournaments feature not supported, in-game live from PlayStation not supported, and PS5 does not support the PS4 second screen app or game companion apps either. So again, they're just getting rid of all this old stuff that's not used heavily and moving on.
Yeah, I don't know any of that stuff. So cool.
I've never used any of it.
Yeah, nope. Awesome.
So anyway, that's I hope that's clear as mud for everyone. So have fun. I'm glad I'm off. I'm off from November 12th through. I've got a lot of time off because Cyberpunk's going to run my life after the 19th. But I'll be taking some time when I set up to just. My big thing when I get a new console, I don't know about you, but unbox it, enjoy that experience of new hardware, right? Plug it in. But before I play anything, I have to everything has to be configured just right. I have to have my hard drives. All my games have to be installed. I have to have all my settings right. Everything has to be right before I can actually play.
People make fun of these people. I'm going to smell the shit out of that stuff as soon as it comes out of the box. I'm going to be like, oh yeah.
Smell new hardware, man. It's
awesome. Oh man, it's like walking into Home Depot, man. You kind of get like a semi. You're just like, oh yeah.
But I get it. Mine's a car thing. New car smell.
Right, that too, right? Or you just got a smoker, right? When you get that smoke rolling for the first time, and you get that.
I did that last week. It was
something. That's what I'm talking about. It's the best. It's the best. It's the little things for new launches. That's a huge quality of life thing for me.
Oh yeah, man. I love this stuff. I'll take time looking at the box. I'm a weirdo. I'm an absolute weirdo.
Yep. So I was sitting here the other day. I was like, man, I got to do some wire management really bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I do it now or do I wait a month and just do it all at one time where I'm just going to have the whole shebang, I get everything else, set up again. I'm thinking about, this is crazy to me, but I might wall mount my my new systems.
Yeah.
And hide them behind so I don't have that way. I don't have to look at them.
Oh.
I can't. Yeah. Well, listen,
what about custom consoles?
I mean, then I'm screwed, basically. I would like that, but the problem is I've got a very little bit amount of space in my entertainment system. I don't I have to lay that Xbox Series X on its side because it just won't fit in. I mean, it'll fit, but I'm not going to take that risk. So I can't have it laying outside because my OCD will go crazy. The PS5 takes up, half of it. So this is going to make room for a crap load of maybe controllers, and I'll just have a bunch of controllers down there. And I want to get a little bit
of books and physical game case.
No, that's never going to happen. That's the dumbest shit you've ever said. Oh man.
Carl gave us. He said on the HDR thing, you just don't get the wide color. You spelled color wrong, Carl. Color settings, bad wording again by PlayStation. So
that's a shock.
It'll work. You just won't get the right color. And they, English kind of made the English language. I know, but we speak American here on this Bitcast.
That's right. Oh, God damn
it. But no, thanks for that, Carl. Where was I? So you joked about smelling the console, and that'll segue perfectly to segue us perfectly to what was supposed to be, I think, some big news for PlayStation 5 at the start of the week, which was the Japanese YouTubers. Several of them got their hands on with PS5 and a couple games. Now, what I thought was going to happen, and maybe it's just the assumptions based on what we've seen here in the U.S. with Xbox, or really not just the U.S., but around the world, with them just giving the Series X to major influencers, right? And letting them do whatever they want to do with it. The PS5 one was different. So this was a controlled environment. They couldn't even touch the system. They were literally not allowed to touch it. They could only play 2 games, which was Astro's Playroom to demo the DualSense controller and Godfall, right? And there's other things they could do. They couldn't see the UI. They couldn't show loading. They couldn't do a bunch of things. It was a very, very strange way to initially demo your system, in my opinion. And again, we were joking prior to the show, but you were talking about smelling. And this guy, I don't know his name. He became a sensation this week across social media because he was incredibly overjoyed in a unique fashion at the PlayStation 5. I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this.
That's probably the best way to word it.
And, you know, I've made this point, right? Look, cultures are very different around the world. And I don't know a whole lot about Japanese culture. I know enough to know that they do a lot of quirky, what we would consider quirky things. And so I don't know who this guy is. I know he was overjoyed at a lot of things and being really goofy about it. Hey, you know, more power to him. If nothing else, he was happy, right?
That's right.
That's all I can say. He was happy. So
he's still standing.
He's still standing. And you know what? Yeah. He's the one who played the PS5. We haven't.
Yeah. Because he's the Rocket Man. I think his name might be Daniel. Ooh, I'm dropping the references.
Oh my God. But to the point anyway, is that all we got out of this was really some curated game footage and footage of like the DualSense and stuff. It was not what I expected. I really wish for more. So I'm still waiting on seeing people have a true kind of hands-on with it, because I don't consider that a true hands-on.
Well, it's literally hands-off by definition.
In fact, this guy, right? He even made a GIF of going up to touch it and basically having to stop.
Like he's so close in that picture, it's probably breaking some kind of NDN or RD with that.
Yeah, I think one of his hairs touched it. So Sony has pulled it back from him now.
Yeah, he's disappeared. Nobody's seen him since. Yeah, I mean, it's weird that you have, it's so different, and like you said, it's a cultural thing. I think mostly, what Xbox has done is basically put a month before the console launches, is put the unit in the hands of all of these, not just influencers, but also reporters, journalists. A lot of people have it now. They've also got kind of that weird NDA thing where it seems like everything opens up a little bit. That makes sense. That's fine. Kind of hopefully there towards the end we get to see actual next gen gameplay. I think that's what a lot of people are waiting on still. And we haven't seen, I mean, we saw a little bit, I guess, with Godfall, but it's not the same, and it's once Digital Foundry really goes to town on these things.
That's what everyone's waiting for.
Everybody's waiting for it. And shout out to those guys. They did like a million viewer or a million subs stream.
Yeah.
Go watch that. God, it was so good. It was so cool watching like where they came from and how the whole thing started and stuff. I mean, I watched it last night. It's kind of long, but it's really, really good. Those guys are just fun to watch. And I don't understand half the things they're saying.
Well, when in 2038 we'll do our 1 million sub stream.
Yes.
And, we've got time to plan it.
Yeah, it'll be you and a skeleton over here. It'll be with a Diet Coke sitting next to him.
It's just that picture of the skeleton in the chair holding like a Coke.
That's gonna be it. Yep.
Yes, Phasma says his name is Austin Powers. He definitely got the Austin Powers and Elton John references galore this week. That guy. So
I mean, it's cool they're finally getting this stuff into it, and hopefully soon we'll see. Maybe this week we'll see some more stuff come out. I'm getting anxious now. Now you're getting to the point where you're so close that next Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know what day it is, but the Ghost of Tsushima is coming out with their New Game Plus and Legends, and I'm like, man, I really want to go back and play the New Game Plus, but I only got to wait a few weeks, and then I can play it on, the new system. That's going to be 60 FPS now. Yep. And so it's you're starting to see this stuff, and these machines that we have are starting to be, I don't know if I want to say obsolete. Yeah, I want to get rid of them. I want to punch them in the face. Like I'm playing, what the hell was I playing? Oh, that like Genshin Impact game. And I can. It looks great, but I want to see what it does on the PS5. I want to see what Crash looks like. It looks amazing on the One X. What's it going to look like on the Series X without like the developer going in and enhancing it.
Yeah.
So there's a ton, man. Gosh, I really don't even want to play games, but I have to play games.
It's funny you mentioned Ghost of Tsushima because you know me, I still haven't finished the damn thing, and I actually went to turn it on last weekend, and I did, and then I played for like 5 minutes, and then we saw this week, and I thought to myself, now I'm waiting, right? Why would I finish it now? Just play it in 60 FPS at a higher res, and with all the new features in the future.
It's that weird time where it's just like, I still want to play games, but I also want to play it on some really, really good hardware. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
The old is what it is. All right. Yeah, but you're right. We are close. In fact, it's October 10th. We are literally 1 month to the day from Series X and Series S. 1 month. It's hard to believe because we have been talking about so we started talking about next gen obviously a couple years ago, right? But when it really started to come out was when we got some of that leaked news on the 2 console approach from Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that article originally in April of last year, so it's been a year and a half.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It seems like it's been a lot longer than that. I don't know if it's because of this whole pandemic.
2020 has been 8 years.
Yeah, it's dragging ass. Get on the stick here a little bit.
Yeah.
Driving me nuts.
So I do have some good news for you, though.
Okay, good.
Cyberpunk is gold.
Oh, baby!
No more delays. Nothing else to worry about. This will be us in
crunch.
And we're not going to get into that.
I'm not worried about crunch, but yeah.
We are going to be in Night City. That'll be us on our bikes here in T-minus, a month and 9 days.
Yep. God damn it. I'm going to have to wait.
Why do you have to wait?
Now, wait a minute. Now, oh, no, I don't, because I have to, so that whole week is going to be me playing Valhalla. It's going to be insane.
You've got to plow through Valhalla and get there.
It's going to be, that's going to be some crunch. You guys want to talk about crunch? you try to play a fucking Assassin's Creed game.
Crunch, and all of our employees are properly.
Somebody give me Schreier's number.
Hey, of exposure to seasoned gaming. Go for it.
True. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll take the hit.
Yeah, we are a non-monetized site. You can argue about crunch all you guys want.
Fantastic. All right. It's exciting, man. I mean, that's obviously the big game that a lot of us are looking forward to, and I wish. I hate. I'm not trying to put this on the devs or anything. I wish like the actual next gen enhancements were going to be there on launch.
Yeah, I know everyone.
But I'm fine with it's those kind of games. While they look great and they're awesome, it's always more about how the story is told and everything else. You look at like The Witcher 3, it looked fine. It looked really good, but it wasn't. It was a side part to it was the cheesy corn of the main meal here. So it's gonna be awesome. That's all I got to say.
Some good cheesy corn though.
Good cheesy corn, but it wasn't the meat.
No, I'm incredibly pumped. I still can't decide if I'm gonna. I think what I'm honestly gonna do, because I'm reviewing Cyberpunk, is I'm gonna play it on PC in ultra wide, ultra settings to review it and use the what do you call it? We talked about the not the job role. What are they calling the 3 things you start as?
I don't know.
The nomad or the corpo or the street kid.
I can't remember what they call them.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But anyway, pick one of those that I wasn't going to use. Do that for the review and then go back on the Series X, play it. The only thing that sucks though is that's a game, man. I need to play on the OLED. You know what I mean? Like the ultra wide monitor is beautiful and gorgeous, but the actual screen quality can't match the OLED.
We need about a 50-foot HDMI cord and just run that.
Remember from us?
Right, yeah. Right, yeah, that's super long. Yeah, you just run it all the way across your basement there. You'd be good.
Yeah, well, I could if it supports. We don't need to get into my setup, but yes, it is something I could do, and I'm hoping that it supports proper controller options because I want to play with the Elite. So I'm sure it will. Though, being CD Projekt Red, they're not going to overlook that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're crunching on right now, actually.
Yeah, that's why we got these articles.
And again, we're not making fun of crunch. Did you see actually? So 2 things about while we're talking Cyberpunk, we might as well touch on it. Did you see One, Game Informer was doing their podcast, and they had some quotes from Cyberpunk employees basically countering Jason Schreier's article, saying that, a lot of us wanted to work these hours to make sure the stuff was the way we wanted it to be for when the game releases.
Oh, you mean people that take pride in their work?
Right.
Right? That aren't lazy pieces of shit? Yeah. Nothing drives me more crazy than a lazy piece of shit. All right. If you're crying about your fucking work conditions, unless you're a fucking, small child working
whoa. We're not even at grinding gears yet.
Don't get me started. All right. Listen, I respect those guys that came out on that podcast and, that talked to those people and said, hey, yeah, because we want to, because number one, there's some kind of money in it for them. It is what it is. Number two, Jason Schreier can suck it, basically, is my whole point. I don't understand. And he got so upset.
He did. He responded immediately,
of course. Like a little bitch. That is it. I mean, it was so bad. I was like, oh my God, and then he blocks like 15 million people, like a God, what a baby. I cannot stand babies.
That's the other interesting thing. And I sent it to you this morning about the guy, and I don't have his name up in front of me. Someone may, from Escapist, who basically had enough and came out and posted a whole 10 post thread about Jason Schreier, including some information about him that was more internal to the games industry. Which, given his behavior, seemed to make a lot of sense. Yeah, it certainly wasn't good. So,
yeah. You mean he's part of a small little clique of people that only likes his friends and stuff? I mean, I get that, but at the same time, I also don't, I'm not doing shit to, you can stand on this hill and scream down and shut up, all right. If you could, if you're going to be in that kind of position, then you're going to have to take a little bit of heat. If you don't want it, get out. I mean, that's all I got to say to the dude. I mean, the guy, God, he's such a...
Yeah, you can't take any feedback or criticism, which is... That's a terrible sign for someone that writes publicly. You have to be able to take criticism. That's like writing 101.
Better.
Yeah, exactly. And it also keeps you objective. And I think that's the problem. It's like it has to be his view and opinion on something, or that's it. And that's, again, that speaks to a level of immaturity. Not even just in professional career, right? That's a level of immaturity in his character.
Yeah.
So
bitch.
That's one way to say it. Anyway, so Cyberpunk Night City Wire episode 4 is this week, which is cool. They're supposed to be focusing on vehicles. So all about the cars, driving, combat in vehicles, all that stuff is coming this week. It is Thursday at 11 a.m. Central time. So whatever that is for you. But it's going to be fun to see a little more Cyberpunk. I wonder if that's going to be their last one before launch.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? I guess they could do one right at launch.
Yeah, just before. Yeah, it's going to be cool. So, Pompa coming in with another $5 super chat. Pompa, you're
that one popped up.
Yes, that one did pop up. So who has a bigger list of people being blocked, the legend Wilmy Hood or Crybaby Jason?
Gosh, I don't know, man. Wilmy I think he's almost at 50,000.
He's tens of thousands. Yeah, I know he was over 35,000 last I talked to him.
No, I think he posted the other day. He was at 48. I mean, to get that much, I mean, respect for sure. But I mean, you had just got to just go down a list of people and just be like he's got to have a bot, like a block bot.
A block bot.
I mean,
Leo just said, "Thank you very much, Pompa, as always, mate."
Yeah,
Mo's here, love it. And Leo just said he pasted 50K. Passed, I think he meant to say he posted 50K.
Yeah, that's fine. That's insane.
Yeah,
I love that so much. I don't know how he does it. I need to know his secret because, I mean, that's really the key to Twittering correctly.
I mute people almost every day, and I'm closing in on 1,000. But 50,000, to your point, is nuts. That takes some serious effort.
I mean, he should get some kind of award. Much respect. That's what I can say for that guy.
All right. So, another big release that is coming before the new consoles and before Cyberpunk, which I know I'm excited for. I think other people, the excitement for it starting to build after this week is Watch Dogs Legions. Legion, excuse me.
Right.
So this week we had a whole wealth of info on it. We got some previews from some outlets. We've got the story trailer. We got the first post-launch trailer, which they have a post-launch release schedule, which includes free content as well. And we got the first look at the first part of the season pass, which let's touch on all of that. So did you catch up on this stuff for Watch Dogs?
I saw some of it. I saw the stuff that's in the season pass. And I saw some of the videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the story trailer looks really good.
Yeah, that's what I watched. Yep.
Yeah, they accompanied it by a live stream with Clint Hawking, who is the game's director. And he's the one who spoke previously about the benefits of this long delay the game had from last year. And I think we're seeing that. So the story trailer not only looked good, but if you watch the gameplay live stream, it was really, really impressive. There were some very, very neat things shown off. And I think it was absolutely the right decision to delay this game as they did, because what I saw at E3 last year on the closed door demo they did for us, this is night and day compared to that.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a grandma do the Stone Cold Stunner. Sold. Like literally, that's all I needed to see. It was awesome. No, I mean that's it, really.
There's nothing else to add.
No, that's it. Yeah.
So, and then they're going to have post-launch content. Let me make sure I get this right. So there's a free post-launch content coming on. I want to say it's December 3rd. And I should have had the date up in front of me. Let me double check on it while you're listening, because I want to make sure I get it right.
I mean, it's going to be, this is one of those games that kind of it's hitting right at the right spot, because it's going to, I don't know how big it's going to be in like scope, but I'm hoping.
Looks huge.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's enough so I can cram it into the time it launches in Assassin's Creed. Because like it's going to go Legion, Assassin's Creed, Cyberpunk. Like,
so you're going to try to do all the Watch Dogs in 12 days and all of Legion in 9 days.
Well, I'm semi-retired anyway, so that was I got nothing to do. Just don't talk to me for.
So it is December 3rd. The first post-launch update includes the online mode for Legion, which includes 4-player co-op missions, real-time dynamic events that occur in the world, and a mode called Tactical Ops, which are dedicated co-op missions for teams. It also includes a PvP arena mode called Spiderbot Arena. Did you see this?
That I missed.
Okay, so it's literally 8-player free-for-all. You know those little spider bots that you can control?
Yeah, sure.
You control one of those in a death match against 7 other people.
Uh-huh.
It looks kind of crazy. Along with the invasion mode. So if you played a lot of Watch Dogs 1, the invasion mode was one of the most played aspects of that game in the long term. Did you ever play that?
I did not.
Okay. So invasion is it's online, right? So you're in your world, basically your single player world, and you can enable whether invasion can occur to you. So if you have it set to on, invasion can occur and it lets you know. And basically what happens is some real player, like say I'm playing, right? You jump into my world and just be looking like any other human in the city. Cool. And you're trying to get to me and basically get information on me. And if you succeed in that, you kind of win the little match. Meanwhile, I get like a little map, the player world, and it says he's somewhere in this area, like a secluded area. And I have to try and figure out which of the humans you actually are.
Yeah, I'm going to be the one with my pants off. That'll be Dan. Oh, there he is again.
There he is. He's there. His pants are still off. I don't know.
Every single time. I don't know what the hell he's doing. It actually sounds pretty cool.
It's actually a lot of fun. It really is. It was played quite a bit in that first one. I can't remember if it was in Watch Dogs 2 or not, but in part 1 it was. And then there's additional free updates coming as well, including new characters, abilities, missions, and New Game Plus in the future. And then the Season Pass, Ubisoft still does the whole gold and Season Pass thing. The first Season Pass expansion is called Bloodline, and it'll continue the story of Aiden Pierce, the main character from 1, along with Wrench from Watch Dogs 2, which Wrench, if you don't know who that is, he's the guy with the digital face mask. And it will also include new, what they're calling hero characters, including a crossover with Assassin's Creed.
Craziness.
So pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, definitely excited for it. I was already excited for this. I've been talking about this for a while because I just love Watch Dogs and I love London. So the two is like peanut butter and chocolate to me. So I'm pumped for it. I can't wait. It's only as of today, it's 19 days. Less than 3 weeks. Great. So pumped about that. What else we got going on? So Xbox, we talked PlayStation 5, some new big games. Xbox this week, they didn't do a lot with the Series X. We saw some more backwards compatibility stuff, kind of frame rate increases. I know this morning Digital Foundry did Assassin's Creed Unity of all games. Did you see that?
It's Unity, man. Everybody loves Unity. I did not see that yet.
They basically said that it's the first time the game's run at a lock 60 frames, and it's really impressive. And okay, that's cool. It's cool. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going back and playing Unity, man. We got Valhalla coming next month, for God's sakes. Yeah. Anyway, but Xbox did announce this week that FanFest is coming back. So if you remember months ago, FanFest has always been a big in-person event, right? I went last year in LA to their 5-year anniversary event, and they obviously had one scheduled for E3 this year before it was canceled. But they said a few months ago that with everything going on, they're going to find a way to celebrate with fans remotely, digitally. And so they announced this week they're doing just that. So Xbox FanFest Digital is coming. Sign-ups for this, open on October 12th, so Monday. So be aware of that. There's no race. I think they just, open up. You're going to get 100 Microsoft points just for signing up. And then what it's going to do is that site will be dedicated to Xbox FanFest, and they're going to update events in real time that people can participate in, ongoing into the future. So they haven't really detailed what those events are going to be yet. But it does sound like something that'll be fun, and potentially probably in-game events and things you can compete on, and I'm sure stuff like that. So,
well, the first one's the trivia one, right?
I didn't see that. If it was, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's 25,000 people. We sign up on the 12th.
Okay.
I think the first 25,000 get in. It's some kind of trivia about Game Pass, I want to say. I think is what I saw on their website. So
interesting. How are they going to do trivia online? Like
1 versus 25,000, apparently.
It's going to be 25,000 versus Google.
Yeah. Jeez. Hey, Wilmy's in the chat finally. We were just talking about you, dude.
Wilmy's here. Marion's here. What's up, guys?
Crazy blocking numbers. Do you have a bot, Wilmy?
Yeah, Wilmy, do you have a bot? We were talking about your 50,000 blocks.
Yeah.
Whether or not.
To me.
And can you confirm if you are in a competition with Jason Schreier to see who can block more people?
Yeah. I mean, no bot. You do this all manually?
By the way, Marion asks, Marion's new avatar is freaking awesome. I love it. Ain, can you sign for free? You have to pay a fee for FanFest. FanFest is all free. So you just sign up. Anyone can sign up.
Yep.
Wilmy said my bot is my finger. We can go a lot of ways with that.
Oh, yeah.
And fuck Jason. So there you are.
Yeah, you
Dan, why are you wearing mascara? Are you wearing mascara?
I mean, when am I not wearing mascara? So that's really the question.
Welcome, guys. Anyway, so make sure you sign up. Like I said, it starts Monday. There is a set time it opens up. I don't have that in front of me. I think it was
I think it's like noon Pacific or something.
Oh, that is ish. Okay. So just be aware. It is on our site. You can find the link to the official thing. Let's talk about some new IPs, new projects that are in the works, because there was some exciting news on that this week as well. Got a lot of traffic on our site, actually, because we put together some of the news that we had found, and some people reached out to me about Bethesda and some of their studios, which we expected are working on new IPs now, which would be for Xbox Game Studios, right? So 2 big ones to be aware of. The first is that ZeniMax Online, creators of Elder Scrolls Online, are working on a new IP and have been since 2018. So they're already 2 years into pre-production on this new IP. It's going to be open world, and it is using a new engine, which is exciting because, as we talked about, I think last week, right? Starfield, which we all also know is coming in, Elder Scrolls 6 are using a new engine as well. Which, if you've played Fallout 76 and some of those games, you kind of know already that Bethesda games need a new engine. They need to be updated. So this is really good news. Elder Scrolls Online, from an MMO perspective, has a pretty hardcore fan base. It's a solid game, runs well. I'm excited to see what they can do in terms of open world. They didn't say whether or not this is an MMO. That wasn't mentioned in any of the news or info that I got. But it is exciting to think that another kind of big open world RPG is on the way from a talented studio.
Yep. I mean, I don't know how anybody can think this is bad. This is fantastic stuff.
Yep.
Man.
The other is Arcane Austin, one of my favorite studios in literally in gaming. So if you don't know Arcane Austin, they made Dishonored and they made Prey. Super talented studio. So the Arcane has two studios. One is in Lyon, France. They're the ones who are making Deathloop, the game that was supposed to launch on PS5 that was delayed to next year. Meanwhile, Arcane Austin made Prey in 2017. Had the DLC for that, but they've been working on a new IP as well. And all they said about it is it'll blend the first-person shooter and RPG genres.
Perfect.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, from these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Dishonored was fantastic, but Prey really, I mean, was so good. Did not get the love.
I know.
But
I've preached that forever here.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, man, I want to see it. Maybe it's like, Cyberpunk, but smaller scope.
Now on, everything will be compared to Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like we've done with it for 5 years.
Yeah.
The other one to be that was kind of announced last year. I mean, it was announced, but we didn't know too much about it, is Creative Assembly. So Creative Assembly, if you're not familiar with them, they did Alien Isolation.
Yeah, that's not me.
No, well, that's a hard kind of, right? But I mean, again, very talented group of people. So they are working on a sci-fi first-person shooter. But what's most interesting about this is more recently is that Neil Blomkamp was at their studio kind of doing something with them on it, whether he was just kind of reviewing it, whether he's consulting on it, giving ideas for it, I don't know. But Neil Blomkamp, again, if you're not familiar with him, he's a director in Hollywood for movies like Elysium and District 9. So he's, he was also the guy who was on deck at one point in time to direct the Halo movie. So he's a huge sci-fi Hollywood director kind of geek. So it's really neat to see him kind of involved in some capacity to their new IP.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see kind of, people kind of stepping out of their, their comfort zone a little bit and going, it could be huge. It could be awesome. Yeah. I mean, I no idea. In fact, never really heard of Creative Assembly. If I had, I'd blocked it out. So sci-fi, awesome. FPS, I'll take it. That's more Bethesda-y anyway. So.
It depends, right? Because when you say FPS, there can be so many different things.
Yeah.
If you think about a game like Prey, it's technically an FPS. But it's Call of Duty. They're vastly different things, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah.
So
I'm more. It's more of just a perspective thing for me. I've always enjoyed. It's actually funny because I was more of an FPS kind of guy, and then just kind of switched over to some point where I was just like, yeah, this is way easier on me. For some reason, it's an old thing. Just...
Mo, what's up, man? Mo with the super sticker.
He said he could. Yeah, he said it wouldn't let him do a super chat.
Let him do a super chat, but in the actual YouTube chat, there is a pair. I think that's a pair who is apparently doing curls while aerobics. Which don't do that. That's not what you should be doing. But I appreciate it, Mo. Of course, thanks, man.
Is that a butt plug?
Stop it.
What is that? Oh, it is a pair.
It's
a weird.
Is that what it is? I don't know how you took that and went to there.
Yeah. Well,
and to be fair, Walter said a game like Prey may make your mascara run.
See, that I could deal with that one. Now you talk about Alien Isolation. I booted that up for about 5 seconds. I was like, yeah, there is zero chance I'm going to get through this.
Alien Isolation, severely underappreciated. I mean, that is
I'm sure it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One thing I figured we'd start doing over the next few weeks is really having what I call next gen watch, because there's a lot of shifting around what games are going to be available on launch day and then kind of around the fall, right? And through the holidays. So a couple updates we got this week on some major games that I know we're excited for. So the Medium, which is a Xbox Series console and PC exclusive. And again, horror game from Bloober Team, one of my most anticipated games by a long shot, because I love Bloober Team. They do some tremendous horror work. is now coming December 10th. They announced yesterday with a new trailer. So did you happen to watch the trailer at all, just for the hell of it?
The medium one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one. I mean, I like what. That's not the hard part. It's actually being in that position, where it's like I said, I've made it through like half the people within 2, and then it just got to the point where I was like, okay, it's the tense. Being that the jump scares get me. I'm afraid I'm going to die, like really die, like have a heart attack. It's just like the medium looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
It's like one of those games I'm probably never going to play because of it. And I don't even know if I'd watch a stream of it because it's so,
I was just about to say, I'll stream it in December if you want to tune in.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be one thing. That's on Game Pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I might try it out. That would be hilarious. But
I think you should stream it, not me.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, I don't know if that'll work. We'll see. I mean, if it's free, I'll give it a shot maybe, and then see how far I make it. That's what I did with Resident Evil, 7. So
yeah, just a reminder. If you've never watched it, we bring it up from time to time that we did make Dan play Resident Evil 2, the remake demo, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not like I don't understand like how you can enjoy just that. I'm pretty low adrenaline dude, so I just like to keep it right here, even keel. Yeah,
well, man, I'm ready. I don't know if you're talking to me or Dan, but I'm ready for sure. We can definitely play some horror games, man. I love them.
Yeah, we'll maybe right here. Be glad you live so far away from me, Dan. You know what? That's the worst. Like, I mean, it's funny because I love Halloween. Go figure.
Yeah, Halloween. This is the best time of the year, man. I love fall.
Yeah. We're gonna have Halloween. I need to get a 6-foot stick.
Candy on the end.
Yeah, just like launch stuff at kids as they walk by. Here's your Twix.
Dog ball launchers.
Yeah. What the hell is
like Phasmophobia? This is a new horror game that is becoming quite popular on PC right now. It's like $15, a shorter experience, but a bunch of us were talking about trying it out. It's like a co-op horror game, so it's quite good. So I might check it out.
Go for it.
Yep.
I'll pretend like I know what it is.
So that's the medium. The other big one, which I'm really excited for, and we kind of knew about this release date change ahead of time, but is Outriders. So Outriders was, kind of that new co-op looter shooter type experience that was originally planned to come this fall. There was kind of speculation it might try and launch with the new consoles, but they pushed it to February. So February 2nd, which I think personally is a good move by a long shot, because obviously they need a little more time to do work. But they announced this with some really positive news. So Outriders is going to be full crossplay, cross progression, and so that's PS4, PS5, Xbox One and Series, PC, and Stadia. They're on Stadia too. And PS4 to PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series upgrades are all free, and they'll be there at launch. So I mean, it doesn't. That's developers, publishers. Give your teams the time to do it like this. There was no reason for them to rush out to launch the fall. Let them take to February, do it right. Super excited about this game, and I think it'll get more focus being out of the way of games like Cyberpunk and Valhalla. And Destiny 2's expansion launches on November 10th, remember, too, with the Xbox Series. So get out of the way of all those known major titles.
Oh, yeah.
Let your new IP kind of flourish in a more downtime.
This isn't the gas, though, right? It's more of a...
So it's a co-op looter shooter that has... that
Diablo-ish.
Loot and stuff will be updated, I don't know if you have to be connected online, but I think like the loot rolls and stuff are real-time rolls. Do you know what I mean by that? Like when you kill someone, there's a calculation that takes place of what drops, and they can update those in real time on the server, I think. But it's not a gas in the sense of
it's not Anthem. Let's just get that out there.
It's not a gas in the sense of you're getting a piece of the game now, and then you're going to get expansion 1 and expansion 2.
So it's the whole game.
You're saying it's the whole complete game at launch.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds so much better than this other garbage that we're seeing. Did you see that? I think I heard it on a podcast that Deus Ex Mankind Revolution or whatever, the newest one, or
the latest one.
Yeah, it had more concurrent people playing it than Marvel's Avengers on Steam. A couple days ago. Is that not insane?
Drop below 1,000 players. Avengers did.
What a shit show! I mean, the game wasn't that bad, but man, this is why gases are just. I mean, you got to really nail it, man.
Well, I know Steve said, you can tell me if you tried it because I haven't played it, but I know what Steve said is that the game had its own issues. It wasn't terrible. Right? It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but the online was broken.
Mm-hmm.
They said the online was a disaster.
Yeah, I tried like twice, and that's from somebody that doesn't ever play online, but I figured, I'll give it a shot. Nothing. I couldn't get nothing to connect. It's so crazy because you had such a good IP there, and it's the same way with, and we talk about it, I know, and make fun of it and make fun of Anthem all the time, but it's you've really got to hit, and I said that before, when Anthem dropped and then Division 2 came out shortly after that, that's how you do it, and then you continue to support it.
Yeah,
and it's still, I mean, I need to jump back in it because I've missed out a whole bunch.
They have a new season that started last week.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I missed that game.
They crushed
because you've got enough content to keep you going instead of like this little 6-hour single player, and then now it's just grind your ass off, and it's just like, God, this is so bad.
Division 2, we've said it a million times. I don't always get on Anthem. God damn it.
This is all Hassan's fault.
Division 2, I mean, it just showed it was so much more content, right? And so much more to do. It's just ridiculous. So as Leo said, you can get legendaries, which of course is awesome. I'm a looter shooter guy. Any loot-based game I'm excited for. That's why I want to see more of Godfall, because they keep making it sound like it's a loot character ARPG, but then you see it and it's like, I don't see that in what you're showing. Right. So I don't know. I'm not buying it at launch. I'm going to wait to see, some actual kind of full depth gameplay for people. Bizzle, what's up, buddy? Supporting Dan's Diet Coke Habit. He's got 2 right there.
Two of them, buddy. I'm actually taking it and just putting it around my monitor.
Thanks as always, Bizzle, man. Appreciate it. And Bizzle posted an awesome image this week. He got his the Season Gaming skull. He got that in sticker form and put it at his work, which is just fantastic, along with some other awesome stickers as well.
I'm not putting the cap on.
Now put the you don't have the cap on your bottle next to your.
No, because I'm not going to hit it. Like if it was like right here, then I'd be worried about it. But I also have my computer's kind of raised up, so if it falls, it's just going to, spill on something that's not my electronics.
Famous last words.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Bitcast, when I'm sitting here and Dan just suddenly goes blank, you'll know what happened.
Yeah. Just see like sparks and then the
Diet Coke incident.
Yep.
What's funny, Leo, because I know Leo is a huge looter shooter guy, plays Borderlands like mad. He said the legendaries look really cool. This is back on Outriders now with the moving parts on them. And I agree. I think the designs look fantastic. The one thing that annoyed me, and I'd like to hear other thoughts if you guys want, they look like they're doing the loot design, the weapon design, a lot similar to Destiny. And that, to me, is a huge negative. Because the loot in Destiny is such a letdown compared to other looter shooters, because it's every gun in Destiny has like a set kind of attack value, and then you upgrade that, and it's always set levels. Meaning that like if you have, I don't know, can name a gun in Destiny, an exotic, but if you have it, Dan, and I have it, and we both fully upgrade it, we have the same exact weapon. And it's dumb. That's not how loot games are supposed to be. You got to have roles on those. Like, again, we always go back to Diablo, right? But if you think about the legendary drops of Diablo, Borderlands is even a better example, right? From a shooter perspective, is that when you get the legendary in Borderlands 3, it can be the same gun that you just got, and it can be vastly, vastly different from how you use it with your class and your build, as well as like elemental effects, rate of fire, reload speed, all these other things, right? So I really hope that Outriders does more of the random rolls on their weapons rather than going with the Destiny model, just because Destiny's popular.
Agreed. So yep. We'll see what happens, man. It's probably, but being a launch game, it's gonna, that'll benefit it a little bit. It's one of those games where we've seen so much of it but we've seen nothing. Like, I still really don't like get the whole thing, but we'll see. It looks good. I mean, like,
the game looks really good.
Pretty,
And People Can Fly know how to make a shooter. Like, it feels really solid mechanics, awesome gore we've seen out of it. Like, it looks really kind of intense. So yeah.
Right.
Marion, don't you start.
Yeah, we've already gone.
Don't you start
down the hole.
Yeah, Wilmie's got a good point too. Is who's tired of the same games basically reskinned and copying each other? I think that's kind of where we are in the industry. It's hard. It's kind of like it's hard to find something that's truly unique nowadays. So we'll see. Hey, Fastback's here. What's up, Fastback? I know Fastback and the NLG crew, which is turning into the Amico launch.
That's right. Yeah. So I'll have to go back and check that out. Sean showed up.
Sean's here too.
Yep. Sean's here. Sean, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I got some Christmas presents I'm working on right now, so I need to get a hold of you, dude. I will hit you. There
you go.
It'll be awesome.
A couple other things on this next gen watches. We got the new trailer for Sackboy. I know it's hard to talk about Sackboy without bringing a smile, but I love platforming games. I honestly didn't expect to be interested in this. Now I am. I've got the special edition coming. I'm ready to go, man. Let's support some platforming games.
Yep. Yeah, it looks awesome. Like I suck at platformers, but I love playing them. It's really weird. So like I bought Crash because I was like, well, you know what? I haven't played a good platformer for a while. Oh, you're fine.
I was just gonna say I've heard Crash is amazing.
It's awesome. It is so good, and it's forgiving, but and it looks amazing. I mean, like the way it runs on I can't even believe how good it looks. But you were hitting that right at the end of the generation, kind of thing. It's not like the same, I mean, it's the same, but they've added enough stuff to kind of keep it interesting and keep it fresh. But it's really, really good.
I've heard a lot of people say it's the best Crash game ever made.
That might be true.
Yeah. It's cool. It's awesome. Then we also found out, which I got really excited for, and it shouldn't be surprising, of course, but that they have collections that came out for Wolfenstein, right? 4 games in one collection of the new Wolfenstein games, and then a separate collection with Dishonored and Prey, the Arcane bundle, which is Dishonored 1, 2, Death of the Outsider, and then Prey all together. They announced this week that series enhanced versions are coming. So for Xbox Series consoles only. So this is kind of interesting, right? This is getting to that point where the bundles released on PS4 and Xbox One, they're going to get enhancements for the series consoles. PS5 is not listed.
Yeah. Well, wait, now I don't have to rebuy them, right?
I don't think
yeah, I would think
because it's already released and everything with Xbox is just upgrade, especially it being Bethesda, right? Which is first party now.
Right.
So, but I got excited because I started playing Prey again on the computer, but the controller support on Prey on PC is a disaster. Gross. You have to go through like this weird setup to even get it to work. And then once it works, it locks your mouse and the controller into the game. So you can't control the rest of your computer while the game's running.
That's dumb.
It's broken as hell. So what I did was I said, once I heard this news, I was like, forget it. I'll just wait until we get the Series X enhancement for Prey, and I'll go back and play it again there and stream it. So, lastly, the biggest news of the week, and I've saved this, just to make sure that we didn't overlook it. We did get confirmation that November 12th, you will be in Bugsnax 7.
Damn right you will. Woo.
Hot dog hands, man.
That's right, baby. Be all over that shiz. Except now, the more I see of it, I'm not going back on my Bugsnax hype. That'll never happen. What I'm saying though is, it looks almost a little bit more Pokemon-ish than I wanted, than less Viva Pinata-y, I guess, is what I was hoping for. But it looks funny, is what I'm hoping. And come on now. I mean, it's not gonna, this isn't Miles Morales or a Halo game or this is Bugsnax. Set expectations as needed, but I'm still buying it because it looks awesome.
Well, I think the funny thing is, right, because of these types of conversations, it's become a meme. It's become a thing. It's definitely going to increase sales.
Hell yeah, it is. Yeah, people are going to be like, "Oh man, Bugsnax outsold everything this launch at next gen. Well, we're gonna look back on 6 years and be like, oh, yeah, you remember Bugsnax?
Bugsnax
Right.
crushed it.
Killed
No.
it.
Knack sold a lot of copies.
Yep.
You know, it was a launch game for a new system. It is what it is.
Fucking Bugsnax.
Wilmy said we got to get you online and play some games, man.
That's my biggest thing, man. I can't. Here, you know, it's funny because I'm writing a review for Squadrons right now.
Yeah.
And
I had the MP at all?
What?
You play the MP at all?
That's why it's taking so long, because I'm trying to get into that. You know, because I think that's an important part of the review. Obviously, that's a huge part of it. You know, so like it has some issues as far as matchmaking and stuff goes, but once you actually do get in, it's a shit show. Like, you know, I get people like yelling and screaming, and like it immediately becomes, you know, just annoying, and you just like people yelling my gamer tag at me.
Really?
Yeah, like I've gotten into like 5 or 6 matches, and it's just every time it's something else. You know, either there's connection issues, or I've got some kid in there that is 12 years old that's, you know, using words that he shouldn't be. You know, or I've got this one, you know, probably 20-something-year-old kid that, you know, is just yelling for no reason, like rapture, you know, just it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So it's always driven. You know, I've gotten away from playing multiplayer games, and we get on every once in a while, play some co-op stuff. You know, we have in the past, and that's about as much as I can handle.
So next time you do that and you're hearing all this shit, just start a party, set it to private, and join the game. You won't hear anything. Just
That's what I did eventually. Yeah. But, you know, it took me 3 hours to figure out how to do that on PlayStation. So, you know, 1, it's not intuitive. 2, I don't ever do it on PlayStation. So
Pampa says that Greg Miller said you're out searching and discovering new bugs. Sounds like Pokemon. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah,
but you know,
Sackboy is looks so good from a platforming perspective.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm not
looks insane.
Hey, so what's up, brother? Friends over at Game On Daily. How you doing, guys? I know their show's going live. Mo is actually on their show here in like right after ours, basically.
Nice.
So cool. There was one other thing. Walter said, "Do you see this stupidity? That you know, there's Baldur's Gate and everyone's like making basic, and I had to step up with our. This is Whiskers 2.0, Baldur's Gate Whiskers, and you know he had to come out and tell him what's what."
What is wrong with his face?
What?
God.
Hey,
it's better quality than your dog.
Don't blaspheme up in here.
So you called him Whiskers again?
What did I just say?
That's terrible. You gotta. You should have came up with something like, you know, like go with, you know. Then again, I use Queefy all the time, so that's my character's name.
Whiskers being insulted on the Bitcast. You hearing this shit?
Yep.
You look at this.
I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
See, Mo said
he looks good.
Mo. Tell him, Mo.
He looks fantastic.
Show some respect.
Whiskers 2.0. Did you take like longer than 3 seconds?
That was a joke. His name's Whiskers.
Oh. He was the guy that was in Dark Souls, so he's actually carrying over
he moves to different games and becomes the character he needs to become in that game.
Okay, that's fair. That I enjoy.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah. As Sean said, he's gorgeous. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Yes. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
Say, wait, will Whiskers be playing on Halo when it comes out? On Halo Infinite? You just make like a big red head?
You can't do that now. We'll have some red spark. We'll pay homage to Whiskers. But Whiskers, more importantly, assuming character creation is the same as the Souls games, Whiskers will be doing a launch night stream on November 12th with Demon Souls. So he's coming. Hey, you got to tune in. Not free. You know, you got to tune in.
I can't even get Twitch to work half the time.
All right. You know what time it is.
You got
anything?
Jeez, man, I got so mad like during the show. I don't know if I got
already went out on the dryer. So
yeah, that was my big thing. You know, another thing is, you know, just I've tried to clean up my timeline. We can do this together, folks. You know, it's a team effort. So I sometimes I get on there and I'm like looking at tweets. I'm like, okay, let me go check and see what this guy is complaining about, and then I can never find it, which is good because that means I'm doing something right. So like gaming Twitter has become like people getting fake outraged over fake outrage or non-existent outrage because it actually doesn't exist. Sometimes I think we make stuff up so that we have something to bitch about. Now, don't get me wrong, it's full of assholes. Wilmy, it's a prime example of how to control your shit.
You need to finish that sentence with something.
No,
you said it's full of assholes. Wilmy is a prime example.
That's not what I meant. He is corralled. You blocked 50,000 people. It's not just yeah, it's perfect. That's how you need to do it. But I still see it where it's just like I look at something. I'm like, okay, what did this guy say? I'm looking through. I'm just like, well, nobody really said anything. Like I think people make stuff up sometimes, and it's infuriating because that just kind of perpetuates something that may not even be that bad.
It happens every day, man. And then people share it, and it spreads. And
yeah. Just make sure Wilmy. I'm all respect to you. I mean, you do a fantastic job, and I really need to learn these ways. But it's just crazy to me. I mean, it's so annoying. Because like I said, I've gotten to the point now where I'm actually like, oh, this is not bad, and then every once in a while something creeps in there and I'm just like, nope, gotta get rid of them.
Yep.
So,
well, going to that level too, I heard, so I'm going to call this out since Wilmy's here too, is apparently, and I don't know all the details, so if I get this wrong, sue me, but I did talk to Bomber about it, but someone apparently either reached out to Wilmy or posted a comment in chat or something about getting Bomber off of GBTB because he was, he had an opinion on older games or something. And I was like, how arrogant do you have to be to come on to someone else's show and think that your opinion matters enough to tell the host of the show and his friend and community member to take him off of the show because you don't like what he said?
Nope.
Like, what?
That's insane to me. You guys can see what I'm doing off camera.
People
freak out.
People are crazy, man. I don't know.
Like Bomber's like one of the best,
and Bomber's like one of the nicest guys.
He's like super nice. One of the nicest guys. Like the only thing he ever gets mad at is All Access, and that's literally the only thing I've ever seen.
He has all right to be mad.
Yeah, he absolutely does, and that's it. How can you not like that guy?
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but that just goes to show the level that some of these people out there in the community
why are you showing up to the show?
That's the point. Why are you tuning in? And the nice thing is, we get to talk like this. I love that we don't worry about that stuff. Like everyone that comes on here is just super nice and awesome, and it's great. But yeah, those a-holes are out there, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think to my point, I just try to avoid it and try not to give them
credence.
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
because then it just makes it that much worse.
Agreed.
Somebody is the worst thing you could probably do, unless they're just completely being a piece of shit. And then you just have to call them out, then block them. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
So my thing, I just wanted to shout out one thing I was finding disappointing. We don't name names. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. But one of the things that's driving me crazy right now is there's a lot of this you see on Twitter again, really social, just the gaming community, where it's like people are trying to gain clout or popularity or followers, whatever the hell you want to call it, by constantly like tagging executives or tagging well-known members of the community or trying to create controversy, to your point. Like I've seen some good content creators lately start to dabble into that realm of, you guys are good content creators, you're balanced, you're intelligent, and now because you start to gain a little notoriety, you're starting to push into fanning the fanboy stuff. You know what I mean? And starting to really like push yourself in this way to try and gain a little more notoriety. It's just disappointing to see. It's like that's how we end up in a gaming community full of sites that are posting shit clickbait day in, day out, because everyone's trying to get that next 100 hits or 1,000 hits or whatever. And it's like, if you're out there and you're making good content, whether it's videos, articles, sites, whatever, man, stick to it. Let's overcome this together.
Yeah, the thing is with that, we do it for the right reasons. If you're doing it for That's why I like it here so much, because we don't have to worry about all this other stuff. We don't have to worry about clicks. We don't have to worry about being monetized. We can just do what we like to do, and our passion, for the hobby should come through in that. I don't have to do this Bitcast. I don't have to write articles. I enjoy doing it. And once you stop enjoying it and it becomes too much, then you walk away. But until then, it just blows my mind. And most of these shows that I have seen are all the same. Like, they're all the same people. It's like the same show every day of the week. It's just a different show. Like, oh, I just saw that dude on this guy's show, and that guy. Yeah, basically it's the same people over and over again, and but it's crazy how much it has. It's just like they get the same amount of viewers all the time, thousands and thousands of viewers, and that's great for you. That's fine. I don't care about the numbers, but it just blows my mind that it's just people need that validation.
To your point, when you see that on I was going to say the same thing. So, we already see it on sites. The sites like Kotaku and those that have to post the bullshit just to get clicks. And, the worst now in the community, which is creeping up more and more, is you see it on YouTube. It's like someone can take a single quote from a Twitter comment in a thread from last week, and they'll turn it into like a 10-minute YouTube video. And then you see that same video from 30 different people.
Yes, from some guy that has like 2 followers that posts like 3 times a year. Like, he comes on and says like one thing, and it's like, whoa, well, this is
this is my next video right here. 10 minutes. Yep. Let's talk about this.
And I don't know who you are, 7283B/, but you really pissed me off. So I'm gonna make some money.
Anyway, that I was just, and hey, I'm not, do whatever you're gonna do. I don't. Do whatever you're going to do. But it's disappointing to see that there are a bunch of other good content creators out there that are, they're doing things for the right reasons. You said it best. Do it for the right reasons, right? Enjoy the passion, the hobby, what got us into the love of this in the first place. Stay away from the bullshit. Yeah. Because say you even get 1,000 more clicks or 5,000, whatever it is, you get more clicks for doing that. What does that matter? It's not doing anything for you.
No.
Let's be honest at the end of the day.
Yep. I can't deal with it.
And then years from now, when you look back on that, I'm going Braveheart here. Years from now, when you look back on the content you created, like someone like Crap Gamer, who people talk about all the time, it's shit. You've created nothing but shit for years.
And you can literally, your recommended videos watching that are literally the same video with the same people with a different thumbnail at the beginning. That is literally the only difference between most of these shows.
Yeah,
and that's every single side. I don't care what you tell me. I never understand it. I understand people need validation. Twitter's not the place to get it. You're going in the wrong direction, dude.
That's correct. Yeah. By the way, Asa called out, and he is correct here. You do have to do the Bitcast. Just want to put that out.
I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I'm 2 hours a week. What the hell, What's going on?
That's grind our games. Let's talk about currently playing a new game. So we did have some new games this week, some big ones. So Fall Guys Season 2 came out. That's a big thing. A lot of players. Biggest game released this week, I think, by far, is Baldur's Gate 3. So Baldur's Gate 3, a lot of people have been waiting on that huge release from Larian Studios, the D&D stuff. Obviously, we touched on Crash 4. I think Crash 4 technically came out last Friday, right? And then I know probably nobody cares about this but me, but NHL 21 is out on EA Play, and I've been playing that the past couple days. Awesome to get back into online NHL playing. So, want me to touch on Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, man, I want to hear about it, dude.
So, did a launch night stream of it on Monday, Tuesday. I guess it went whenever the hell it went live. Dave got away from me. It's awesome so far. So, Larian Studios, if you're not familiar, right? Divinity, Original Sin 1 and 2, some very well-made, highly celebrated games. Got the permission from God, I'm going blank on the company that owns the rights to D&D, not Wizards of the Realm, Wizards of the Coast. And essentially, took over Baldur's Gate 3. And what you have is you essentially have a next-gen style Divinity mixed in the D&D universe with D&D mechanics. So the really cool thing about it is, first of all, as I'll just remind you again, and if you insult him, I'll just mute you. You have a really cool character creator at the start. So it's very in-depth. There's tons of classes and races and backgrounds and skills. I mean, it's super, super deep. And then once you get into the game, again, as you would experience with Divinity, it's very in-depth, right? But the really neat thing is, like, say I'm fighting and I'm going to cast a spell. It's all D&D mechanics. So, like, cast a fireball, it measures the distance to that person, gives you your percentage to hit it, right, depending on all of that person's attributes. And then when it hits, it's actually doing that die roll for you. So it'll say on there, like, 2d6 plus 4. You know what I mean? So it's rolling 2 6-sided dice and then adding 4 to the total for the damage. And so you're getting that feel like a true D&D experience. And even cooler in that regard, which I really, really like and will give the game massive replayability, is in conversations. So, like, in conversations I've had, you'll get multiple options to respond to people, right? So you can get options based on your class, your race, your background, the skills you have. You'll get different options. So, like, I'll have one for my race where it's like I have additional perception. And it'll say you could use this to, say this. And then it'll come up, you have to roll a 12 or higher to convince this person to do X, right? Once you make that decision, it doesn't tell you what that number is. So you say, okay, I'm going to say this to the person. It comes up on the screen with the die and the number you need, and you roll. And if you don't get that number, say I need a 12 and I roll a 10, right? You fail, and that's it. There's no re-rolling. There's no going back. There's no changing your decision. So, like, I found this magical beast wandering around, this boar, right? And it started to talk to me. This is early on in the game. And I had to say something to it to convince it. And I needed like a 14, and I rolled like a 6. And it said, roll failed, and this happened, and he just disappeared. I have no idea what would have happened if I got that roll. So you can, if I really wanted to, you can save every 2 minutes and relaunch saves constantly if you want to. But I think it's a lot more fun to kind of play the game as it approaches you, and just go with what would happen in a D&D campaign. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah. I mean, that's only like the first act?
It's the first act, which they said is campaign-wise is about 25 to 30 hours. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff in it between all the classes and all the other crap that can happen to get more time out of it. Yeah. Mm. And they've already released 3 updates for it since it launched. Jeez. So they're continuing to update it, and they're taking feedback. If you own the game, you can give feedback as they continue to develop the rest of it. So it's really well done.
Yeah. Gosh, it's one of those games where, like, if I get it, I know I'm gonna, I know what's gonna happen. I'll play it for.
Well, you just played Wasteland too, which
this
is even more in depth. So you could really lose yourself in it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. I might have to. We'll see what happens.
But it's really good. If I'm gonna try and put some more time into it. I may end up reviewing it from an early access perspective, if I can get enough time into it. I've just been playing too many things, as usual. But it also is really good from a setup on the PC as well, meaning tons of options for video, frame rate, text, everything. You can customize it any way you want. So, like, when I was streaming, I was playing it in 1080p native at 120 FPS, all ultra, everything. And then when I'm not streaming, I'm going back and playing in full ultra wide. Everything's supported. So it's awesome.
It is.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So you've been you're writing our Squadrons review. I know we touched on it last week. Did you finish single player?
Yeah, so I finished single player. It's funny, when I started writing the review just for that section, because I while still playing the multiplayer stuff, and I'm sitting here writing it, and I'm like, man, I put way too much. There's so much. It's so in depth as far as like the controls and stuff go.
Yeah.
And this is playing on the flight stick in VR. So I did that for the entire campaign. I also came back and played some of the game with a controller without the VR headset, because I wanted to get kind of the idea of like how it played, what it looked like, how much better it looked, and now it's mostly multiplayer stuff, which I felt really, really good about going into multiplayer. Thought I was doing really good in the game. Didn't even play played it on a not easy level, so it was. And then all of a sudden, it was just like you get in and you just get annihilated if you get in at all. And then, so it's like every once in a while you get a match or two that's pretty good, and then I thought I'd have all these advantages, having the VR headset and the flight stick and stuff, and I was like, man, I'm a badass, and then I realized I'm not. It's just weird how the mechanics, they don't really transfer over to multiplayer, which is a weird thing to say. It's the same mechanics, I guess, but like the damage output and stuff like that. I don't know if I just played like normal wasn't the place to play, I guess, but I'm going to go back and play through the campaign again, I think, after the review's done. So
okay. It's just like anything else. Like if you go play Halo 5 on normal, the campaign, and you'll be blasting aliens like crazy, you jump into multiplayer, you're going to get slaughtered. It's not even close to the same thing.
Yeah, it's not fun.
And Wilmy calls you out. Not that me and Wilmy.
No, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah. I think that's all of us. Sadly, yeah.
Yep.
Fastback. Appreciate it, man. I just looked at Dan's name for today. I'm afraid to ask, vacuum all the bug snacks dust out. That we didn't talk about that in the Teardown video, despite your name, did we? The actual dust holes on the console that they said you can vacuum out.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. It's capture dust, I guess. I just like the word.
Yeah, I guess it's probably the way the airflow goes, internally, and it just collects dust in the spot. Very strange.
I need a very tiny vacuum.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
little shop vac.
Thanks, Fastback. Always appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I played, like we talked about, Crash a little bit.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I want to get it, but I'm between NHL and Baldur's Gate, as I said, it's ridiculous. And Watch Dogs is in 2 weeks. It's like I want to support it, but I know I won't have time to play it.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you can kind of play, like I kind of jump from that to, into that from other games. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's where I can just go play a level, be done with it, and then we're good.
Shizno's got a good idea.
I'm good with that.
What's up, Shizno? Good to see you, man. And Wilmy said we're changing our name next year to Elder House Gaming.
Yeah.
well seasoned gaming.
Yep. Overcooked.
And you've been playing, did you try Fall Guys Season 2 by chance?
No.
You give up on that?
Yeah. Pretty sure I have some in-game currency there.
Nice.
Yep. Nice. That's normal though. I started that Genshin Impact game.
Yeah. I installed it the day before I was reminded that Baldur's Gate was coming out. And I was like, well, that was stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about still. I'm still like it's one of those games that it just basically launches you into it, and you're like, there's really nothing tutorial wise. I mean, there is. It's just like, okay, press this to jump and press.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't like games where it doesn't give you any kind of
context. I think.
Yeah. There's no context, and I got it. Like it's weird because like the menus are so. I mean, I know this is a Chinese game, so it's a little bit different. But like if I go to inverted, to switch on and off, it says like open, closed. It's like, okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm just because I need to. And then like the menu for me doesn't work like I'm used to having like a radio menu work. Like I down left bumper, I use the right stick to or whatever stick to go over and select.
Yeah.
And just nothing ever happens. I'm like, so I have to like hold down left bumper and then like quickly tap the direction, and then the menu pops up, whatever I'm trying to do.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's a setting for that. I haven't looked. It's gorgeous. It really, really, I mean, it is Breath of the Wild to a T. I mean, almost.
Don't insult it like that.
That's it. I mean, even the enemies, but it's a lot deeper, and there's a lot, there's different characters you can play as. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to figure out, like, I haven't got very far because it was frustrating me so much that I couldn't, like, I just don't know what I'm doing. And when you do a game, like, I need some kind of a little bit more direction, Maybe I need to go another hour with it and then see.
How long have you played it?
Maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
Which I thought was by that point, you should actually know what the hell I'm doing, but I don't. And maybe that's a me thing. I understand the combat. It's pretty easy to understand. That kind of stuff is pretty easy. The leveling and stuff is pretty deep, I think.
Okay.
But I still don't understand like what kind of game it is. That's where I'm still, it's like Breath of the Wild. Is it like an RPG? Is it like there's microtransactions in it, but I've never seen or what they're for.
Apparently you have to roll for new characters and you can as well.
A gotcha game, which I had to look up because I had no idea what that was.
Yeah. So you can apparently get characters, but also items and stuff too. So there's a couple guys in chat here saying they've played quite a bit. So
I'm going to have to reach out because I love the look of the game and it plays like just the mechanic, like the fighting. That's great. Like there's so much I like about it. But I also don't like. Maybe I'm just an idiot. That could be just the problem. I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
So I did install it. I installed it on PC because it does have full crossplay. So if we should get a group maybe together and try it out one night. But I correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I'm pretty sure you have to get to like adventure level 16 or something before you can do co-op.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know how long that is into the game. I don't know if that's an hour or like 10 hours or what. Hassan says he's playing it right now as we got this on.
Yeah,
so
I might try it out here in a little bit.
Okay, I'll be back on Baldur's Gate. You play anything else?
That's pretty much it. I got it's funny because I played through Mafia and then I went and installed Mafia 3.
So
yeah.
You went back to Mafia 3?
Yeah, I love that game. That one is like one of my. Like, I don't know why people don't like it. I understand it had issues, especially at launch, but damn, the story is so good. They did such a good job with the story.
I never played. I still got the collector's edition sealed.
God damn, man.
Need to play it. I am playing Mafia Definitive. I think I'm halfway through it. I am trying to do like a mission every day or every other day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So good. It is so good. Really enjoying it. So, anyway, Bizzle, I don't know if someone can answer this for Bizzle. He said, can you party up? That's in Genshin. I think it is 4-player.
It's co-op at some point.
Yeah, once you get to
a
certain level.
I think I'm like level 4. So.
Okay. The only other thing I've been playing, like I said, NHL. I don't think a lot of our audience plays that, but I always get in the preview because I play EA SHL with a few friends where we always play the club league and stuff, and it's good. The presentation on it this year is really good, and it plays really smooth. Have had no problem finding matches even in this game preview mode because the game doesn't officially release till next Friday. So it's just been a blast. Spent a few hours on that the past couple nights going nuts.
Nice.
So if you do like NHL, it's a good one. All right. So I think we're going to get ready to head out of here. We do have some stuff to talk about, though. One, for the people in the audience, I just wanted to say a thank you because we've seen kind of record engagement on the podcast. So we're, I think the last 3 weeks we're over either right next to or over 500 views on YouTube, as well as, tons of listens on the podcast services. So the highest we've seen in, I think, ever, the way I look at it. So it's been really great to see and just super appreciative of all you guys. Regulars tuning in, but new people finding the podcast too. I've had a few people reach out over the past couple weeks just saying, hey, never listened to you before, came to you from either the Lords or Gaming Beyond the Box or others, and really love the show. So really, really nice to see. So appreciate that. Coming up, what do we got coming up? So we've got your Squadrons review, right? We've got Hades review, but also Steve has written an article on Hades. He has it as one of his games of the generation. He adores the game. But he wrote a perspective on it, not a review, but a perspective on it from a roguelike perspective and how it compares in that genre. So that'll be going up on Monday. What else was guests next week? So Archimedes will be on next week. He was possibly going to join us this week, had a commitment. He'll be on next week with us. We may go back to a 4-person show next week as well. And then we still need to coordinate. We still need to coordinate the SG show.
Yeah.
We need to get Elu, Phasma, Steve, get everyone kind of on show together. We'll do that one of these weeks in the future. Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it during one of the holidays. That'd be fun. Do a holiday special with everyone from SG. Be fun.
Yeah, we can all dress up as whatever.
I'll keep one of my like 8 helmets here, and I'll just change them throughout the show.
Well, I was thinking more like put a damn Santa hat on and, and a beard.
I'll put a Santa hat on my Doom helmet.
Okay, that's fair. You can do that. I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, cool. Well, thanks as always, everyone who's listening. Like I said, just continued thank you for the support and love. It's awesome. So as always, we will. I messed up this closing. I messed it up entirely. So
yep.
Anything else you want to say? I'll let you close it out. You close it
out.
How
about we got to make sure that our nice outro is ready to go. So we give you that opportunity. He's ready to go. All right. Thank you guys for coming and watching and the chat. You guys have been awesome. Other than that, man, I'm ready to chat on this food that's been sitting here in front of me because my wife brought me some. So
excellent. There you go. So Bitcast 126. We will see you next Saturday. Peace.